Something we have to deal with rather often in American politics with the presence of Donald Trump on the scene, and something that is always wild to experience, is hearing him speak with a level of confidence about something that would leave one believing he must know something, like one thing about that topic that he's confidently speaking on. But if you really dissect the words that are coming out of his mouth, you realize, oh, he doesn't know a thing about that. Well, he has a new venture. It's a crypto venture. Oh no, I know. And as a part of a launch event for this, he had an interview. And I want to show you a clip from that where he's asked a question and just sort of gets lost up in his head as he tries to make a bunch of points he thinks relate to the question. Before getting to that, though, for some context, remember this moment with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business. This will give you a sense of where Trump is knowledge-wise on crypto. Here we go.
What about crypto? You spoke at that crypto conference last weekend, and you said that you'd like crypto to have a more prominent space in America.
Well, you have to understand about crypto. Crypto is a very interesting thing, very high level in certain ways, intellectually very high level. But if we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's going to do it anyway. But if we don't do it, China's doing it. China's already doing it. And if we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. So we might as well be at the forefront. And there are people in.
If we don't do it, China's going to do it. If China doesn't do it, we're going to do it. If we don't do it, China doesn't do it, Russia's going to do it. And if none of us do it, then it's going to get done, but it's not going to be done. What are we talking about? What is the it that you're doing?
In crypto that are very, very smart people who do love our country, and they think it's good. Who knows? Maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
But how do you want it to be more prominent in America? How will that work?
Oh, it's going to work easily. It's already prominent. It's moving along. It's very loosely regulated. That's one of the reasons it's moving along. But it is a different form of a currency, and it's going to end up benefiting the country. But if we shut it down, like, Biden's trying to shut it down, Biden doesn't have the intellect to shut it down. Can you imagine this guy's telling you to shut something down like that? He has no idea what the hell it is.
So is he going to shut it down, or he can't shut it down because he doesn't know what the hell it is, which is big projection after that. Maria Bartiromo even asks a follow-up question. Okay, but how? How are you going to do the it that we're still not clear on what that it is? And he says, oh, it'll be easy. No, but that wasn't the question. Because often, right now, he's running for president, so presumably he's talking about policies he'd implement, and he's trying to hype up the crypto bro community by posturing as pro-crypto. But what does that mean in terms of your policies? Because often Biden, maybe what he's referring to is Biden signed an executive order that was, if I remember correctly, in the interest of regulating a little bit more, protecting consumers given the risks we've seen with crypto. But Trump's not talking about that, because usually crypto advocates like the ones he's engaging in this new venture with don't like that type of stuff. Are you talking about a central bank digital currency? Definitely. That's not what he's referring to. So then what are the policies that you're planning on implementing that would make us a leader, you're saying, in this industry, but all we've gotten from you is you're going to do it? Okay. If everyone who watches the show who's not subscribed, just today, just the viewers today who aren't subscribed, who are going to watch, click the subscribe button today, we'd hit 1 million subscribers. Pretty crazy based on the analytics. Do it. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Now at this launch event for, I should probably give you this context, his World Liberty Financial, which is, as CNBC reports, new details of Trump family crypto project released, including who can buy in more than 2 hours into Republican former President Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial launch event on X Monday night. The team behind the Trump family's new crypto project finally unveiled some details. You have lofty goals set by those involved in the project. On Monday night's X Space suggests that World Liberty Financial will be a sort of crypto banking platform where the general public will be encouraged to borrow, lend, and invest in crypto. All I'm going to say, without giving too much financial advice to anyone, is have you seen how people's investments in Trump media have gone for them? His supporters in particular. I'd be very cautious before putting your treasure towards a Trump crypto venture. That sounds really risky. Really, really risky. Those two words do not lend themselves to a wise financial decision, in my opinion. We'll see. Here's at this launch event for World Liberty Financial, and they've launched the World Liberty Financial something token, and here is Trump being asked about this.
The question I have for you, following up on what I was asking earlier, is why is it so important for America to lead in cryptocurrency adoption and innovation?
Well, it's crypto, it's AI, it's so many other things. You know, AI, speaking of an interesting future, it needs tremendous electricity capability beyond anything I've ever heard. It never made sense to me, but this is what it needs. If you take all of the electricity coming out of the U.S., in order to be dominant in AI, you need twice that amount, just for this one thing. Who would think that? You need twice the electricity we already have. And you got to get started. I mean, you have to be, if you're the U.S., you have to get started.
Right.
You don't want to be left in the dust. And China's already building electric plants, and they want to build them for the AI, and it's very important. But you need tremendous electric, and in this country, because of our strong environmental impact statement problems that we have, China doesn't have those problems. They don't do them. They just build. They said, build over here, build over there. With us, you have to go through years. But I'll make it possible to create tremendous amounts of electricity very rapidly. But people don't know that. People don't know that you need double the electricity of what we already have. So you want to get in, whether it's crypto or AI or other things that are coming along, and it's part of the game. We want to have a great country. We want to stay at the top. We're making things now. We're starting, and it started under my administration, that there was no chance of ever even getting involved in for a long time.
Right.
Why is the guy saying right? What are you talking about? What is it that you did that we didn't think we could be involved in? I think he's about to say Space Force. Okay, that's a thing. What does that have to do with the question?
Leading the pack in so many ways. One of the things I'm very proud of is Space Force. We were getting lapped in space by China and by Russia, and now we are the leader in space. And I have to tell you, Elon is doing a fantastic job. He's my friend. He endorsed me for president, so strongly. It was incredible.
Mr. President, what are you going to do to make sure the United States leads in, as the question was, crypto adoption and innovation? Oh, well, AI needs a lot of electricity, and so drill, baby, drill, I guess, and Space Force was the thing that I did, and Elon Musk endorsed me. So how about that? How about that for details? Now, from what I've derived from reporting about Trump's plans and his pro-crypto stance and him speaking at that conference, is he's promising to loosen federal regulations even more as it pertains to digital currencies. Yikes. But whether or not that being I would say the incorrect approach to this. But even if that's the approach that you wanted, does it not bother you at all that Trump seems incapable of articulating that when he's not reading off a teleprompter? What is it that you want to do? And he just talks about AI, electricity. I would be frightened to be going into a venture with this guy. Now, from what I've seen reporting-wise, the guys he's going into this World Liberty Financial thing into business with are people with some bad reputations and little experience in the world of crypto. So again, be very cautious. If you're a Trump supporter and you're going to put your trust in him, like many did in investing in the Trump media stock, just be mindful. I know we're on opposite political sides, but I still want you to have the best life that you can. Here is Trump doing the same interview talking about the second assassination attempt.
Backup question to that second fold is, this was the second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on.
Right.
A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts.
Yeah, so a few things there. Horrible, obviously, as I've been covering, that now two individuals have gotten way too close to Trump and their intentions were to assassinate him. So that's undeniable, and violence like this, or plans of violence like the second guy, are horrific. What seems to be the takeaway for MAGA is that the left, or people who are opposed to Trump, shouldn't be describing him as a threat to democracy. Lunatics wanting to hurt Trump, he mentioned them being radical left. The first guy was looking up Democratic and Republican politicians. Trump happened to be the person coming closest to him. Then the second guy was anti-Trump, was politically motivated. I don't know if a discussion about where was he on the political spectrum is even relevant, except for he was politically motivated, and that's a factual part of it, and was anti-Trump after voting for Trump in 2016. But these lunatics wanting to hurt Trump, I don't see the through line to that's why we shouldn't accurately discuss how Trump doesn't seem to respect democratic values. So then let me flip it around. I hope MAGA and our side, we can unite around the idea that political violence is bad. Doesn't seem like that's something that's happening. Paul Pelosi still gets mocked by MAGA when he got his head bashed in. January 6th is celebrated by Trump and MAGA, so it doesn't seem like we can unite around it. But let's pretend that we could, because I want to unite around our opposition to political violence. Good. From there, if you're requesting us to stop saying Trump is a threat to democracy because you think that's promoting political violence, even though my advocacy for democracy, a part of the principles that inform that, are that I'm opposed to violent means being how we solve our political differences, democratic means is how we do it, then I would like you to explain to me then, how do I describe someone in a way that you feel comfortable with who tried to block the peaceful transfer of power last time he was president? That's not my fault. He did that, right? How do I describe someone who, after losing an election, engaged in allegedly illegal schemes to prevent the lawful victor from coming into office so he could stay in power? And it barely failed on that because his vice president and a few others said, we're not participating in that. But that's what he was trying to do. And deaths came of it, given the culmination of all these lies being January 6th. And then he goes on after that to call for the termination of the Constitution, not my words, his words, termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, because of the election stuff. He said the government should, quote, come down hard on MSNBC in another Truth Social post because he thinks that they do bad coverage of him. He's called the press criminals. Again, I'm saying, if you think I'm using provocative language, I'm just reciting to you things Trump has done and said. What do you describe that as? Because I do think that Trump needs to be protected and he should not be harmed physically. And we're going to beat him at the ballot box, not through violence. And I want him to be physically safe completely. And then I'm asking you, what is a better way to describe than a threat to democracy, what I just laid out there, and there's much more. Because you can't be saying lunatics should prevent us from speaking accurately about a political leader. Surely not. So you're saying that's an inaccurate description. What's inaccurate about it? Up to you, MAGA, to answer. Then you have this.
Backup question to that second fold is, this was the second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on.
Right.
A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they
Sorry, played the same clip. Let's see this one.
no votes, she got no votes. But she'd be very bad for the country. We have to save our country. We can't play games, and we can't have a Marxist, communist president, because that's not what it's all about. So we're going to do it, and we're going to
And then if you're saying using terms like fascist to describe Trump promote violence, what is your take on this?
Kamala Harris is the first major party nominee in American history who fundamentally rejects freedom and embraces Marxism, communism, and fascism. You're learning about this. You'll find out nobody knew who she was.
Then posts like this: Joe Biden's a threat to democracy and a threat to the survival and existence of our country itself. Covered a bunch of speeches of Trump saying the country's going to be finished if Harris wins. So I want to know, when you say people calling Trump Hitler caused this, I don't know how many people have called him Hitler, but if you're saying making connections, saying, hey, this thing is like that, if it's true that Trump said they're poisoning the blood of our country, Trump said it, not me, Trump said it, right? Is it bad for us to say, wow, that phrase is just so similar to what you could find in Mein Kampf? We're not saying Trump is Hitler, but is that what you're saying is bad to bring up accurate points like that that's kind of frightening that he's using phrases just like what other dangerous leaders have used? And that it's okay for him to say the other side will end the country, but not okay for us to say he could really harm our democracy, given that last time he refused to leave office and led to a violent insurrection. I'm confused by the consistency here. I think it's because it's not consistent. So in the meantime, until we figure out a way to have more logical consistency on your end, I'm going to keep accurately describing who Trump is and what he represents, while making clear the solution to that is not violence. And I want Trump to get all the Secret Service protection he needs. And we're going to defeat him through a democracy. Hopefully that's acceptable. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show by clicking the join button below. And we do have election-themed merch.